Alright, well, here we are, the moment of truth. I've actually shot a bunch of videos before this one, but they all kind of sucked, and I'm fighting the instrument less now after I was wearing an armband, which was really impeding my picking speed. So here it is, Melodies from him. It's it's been a long time in the making. I'm sure that the anticipation of you guys watching at home are just through the roof. But it's all tuned up, and I'm going to give it a go. See what happens. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. It definitely has its problems. Talk about that for a second, then I'm going to end this video so that I have something to actually work with. You know, I'm obviously these notes up through here are getting lost, and part of that has to do with the frets. I've also got some bridge issues, I think. I might even have to redo some of the spacing between the different strings because I feel like I'm stumbling across them when I'm with my hands, and I don't have that same feel on that instrument. Anyway, that was 5 Cent Circus, by the way, as played on what I believe to be the world's first 3D printed 8-string mountain dulcimer. And that song is an original song. So now I'm going to play something else. But first I'm going to stop. Alright, back. I'm going to take another go at this. I think this time, well, first I'm not going to do that big delay thing again. Let's try something else. A little nicer. you can see, I'm fighting it. I mean, I'm getting some interesting sounds out of it, but it's definitely got the issues. Definitely got issues. Kind of stupid. Right, we are going live with the 3D printed Mount Dulcimer. I've been holding off on doing it, actually playing, because it's still wonky. I mean, I can't pretend it's not, and so none of you should in the critique of this when you watch it. It's close in a bunch of places. It's heavy as hell. Like compared to the 6-string sitting over here, just incredibly heavy, which I'll fix in future generations. It doesn't want to hold the tune, which is like it wants to drift, so I'll get it up to an A and it'll drift down to, well, hello. I have my tiniest friend here. You see him? Yeah. Here, come here. Whoops, a daisy. Boom. This is Oliver. So I've got some funky effects going on with the amplifier too, just because it was fun last night. I was messing with it. But yeah, there's still definitely problems with it. I think a lot of it has to do with my head and tail bridges where my strings make contact with this plastic. I think I probably need something sturdier than that. I've also got issues with the heights of a couple of these frets. The fretboard itself was kind of a nightmare because if you look through any of the pictures and documentation or earlier stuff on this, you'll notice that like right through here, the black is actually thinner than it is everywhere else because I had to file it down. And that was after filing down the pink and white sides, because at the time when I printed, I was still fighting a lot of issues with my printer. Things like warping. Oh, okay, it's still going. I saw my screen go off, and so things like warping on the edges. So the part of the reason why you see this kind of painterly effect, even though it looks like a mistake, it was actually somewhat intentional, because what I had to do was fill the gaps between the pieces as I assembled it. Like once I had the whole thing assembled, then I went back with the same filament that I used to print it in a what do you call it? Soldering gun or soldering iron, and that had a variable temperature on it. The lowest setting of which was still like 5 degrees hotter than I needed it to be because it kind of tore the plastic up. But I used that to fill the gaps, and then because it wasn't going to look perfect anyway, I made it look like, kind of from a distance, it looks like maybe somebody painted it. That was the idea anyway. So this part right through here, had a hump in it due to that warpage, and that was a bitch to fix. And honestly, I don't know if I did or not because I'm fighting it. I mean, actually, what's interesting is the problem that I'm having with the tuning isn't happening at the part where I was expecting it. It's actually happening up in here, and then a little bit through here. So what I'll probably end up doing is filing down, like pulling the strings off again. And man, it's a bitch. Like restringing a 6-string is a pain in the butt. Restringing an 8-string is, well, 2 strings harder. That big snort was Spock's. You can see her back there. Hey, Spock's. What's up, woman? Spock's. So I had to bring the dogs in here because they bark otherwise. So, oh yeah, this is my workshop, by the way. My studio workshop / whatever. 360, you can pan around, take a look at stuff. Hope you're not offended by nude women. I mean, there's only a couple, but it's currently in what I refer to as chaos. This is actually better than it has been in a long time too. Because I've been in like the midst of these games back here and over there and over there, and then the Dulcimer and trying to get everything built and assembled. It's just been a wreck. I mean, this is as clean as it's been in months, and it's still a wreck, as you can see. I'll probably shoot some 360 video right before the party in here. I'll get it all lit, I'll get everything cleaned, and then I'm going to shoot some 360 video, and people can explore all the different artwork. Anyway, alright, well, I'm going to turn this off for a second. I'm going to tune this up, and then we're going to start.